I received a really good question today. Have you ever been going about your day and everything's feeling quite good, like things are quite good in the universe, and then poof, in 1 second things change and you feel bad, feel overwhelmed, sad, the world is gray, any type of thing, like what happened? And it's hard, don't even know what happened. Why did a switch change and the lights went dim? Or what caused this? Why am I suddenly feeling very different? And there's not really an obvious thing that happened. So a couple of things, so there's a variety of things that I'm sure could contribute to that. Two things that I see frequently are, first, trauma energy. So our subconscious mind, or our brain, is taking in input in every direction all the time through all of our senses. There's a lot of input coming into our system all the time. Right now, what's going on in your peripheral vision, your brain is receiving input. It's receiving colors, it's receiving movement, the visuals that are happening in front of you right now, where you're focusing, even where you're not focusing, the things that are currently fuzzy or not totally focused in view, your brain is still taking in that information. Your brain is taking in the temperature of the air around you, if there's a breeze around you, where your skin is touching clothing and where it's not touching clothing, where your body is touching the pressure of a chair or the pressure of the floor underneath your feet and where it's not, the smells in the air, everything. There's a lot of information. All of your skin is taking in sensations, the sensation of your shirt against your clothing, or the sensation of your pants, if your belt line is kind of squeezing on your body or not, if your ankles, if your socks are tight and they're kind of squeezing, if some of the fabric feels soft, some of it feels rough. There's so much input coming in all the time. And our brain specifically has areas of the brain that are in charge of filtering that out. I would go crazy if I was getting all of that data all the time. Please just take that in subconsciously, file it away, utilize it as needed to like make me notice like I need to move my clothing here or adjust that or scratch. You know, there's something. Your body just is doing it all subconsciously. And it only brings your conscious awareness what is going to be important for you in that moment. So even though your peripheral vision is picking up a lot of information and the body temperature, everything, it only comes to your conscious awareness if it's needed. If your brain says, wait a minute, I think I just saw something in my peripheral vision that could be dangerous, or that was very unexpected and I need to look at it, or I just became aware of my leg, it feels like there's a bug climbing on my leg, let me go feel it. Normally, it's not coming into your conscious awareness. So one thing that happens when we experience trauma is the brain can file away everything, like lots of things that were happening in that moment in the trauma file folder. So say a little kid is at the park, getting at the ice cream truck, getting a strawberry ice cream cone. He's so excited, he loves strawberry. And he gets his ice cream cone, and he turns to walk, and he's walking happily, and a seagull swoops to try and eat his ice cream cone. It startles him, he trips and falls, hurts his knee really badly. His brain, his system might take in, wow, ouch, lots of pain. My knee hurts so bad, this is the worst pain I've ever had in my 6-year-old life so far, or 4-year-old life so far. And the brain can take in the sound of a seagull, the flavor of strawberry, the color or the types of trees around, the leaf shape, sometimes even the weather or like the time of year. It can take in a lot of information and unfortunately file that all under painful, will cause my knee to hurt, may cause me physical harm. So someone, if they do get trauma trapped from that experience, they might start having an aversion to strawberry. When they smell strawberry, the flavor of strawberry ice cream, their body might get a little fight or flight response. They might have an involuntary flinch when they hear seagulls, or when there's seagulls nearby them, they have a hard time being calm around them. Because the brain can file a lot of stuff around a trauma in that trauma folder. So someone might be having a normal happy day on a picnic with their friends or loved ones, like things that they love, and then a seagull comes by close to grab some food from their picnic, and their system now is not feeling happy anymore and is now experiencing kind of braced, feeling a little braced for the other shoe to drop, like something bad is going to happen, feeling scared, feeling unsafe, feeling, those are the feelings of that 4-year-old, that experience when they were 4 years old. If they got trapped and they're still in them, they might surface just from a seagull sound, or just from if they have some strawberry ice cream, and they might feel like, what's happening? Nothing weird happened or bad has happened, but suddenly I notice I'm experiencing a very different experience now, and it's kind of irrational. Like, I'm safe, I'm at a picnic with my friends, like, why would I feel scared or insecure or unsafe? None of this makes sense logically, and it can be because there was a trauma that got triggered. If the trauma was significant enough, it can even result in a fragment or a part, a piece of the psyche that breaks off and spends a lot of its time separate from the system, and when it comes back with all of the pain it's carrying, ooh, out of nowhere, I'm suddenly feeling all this pain that I wasn't feeling a second ago. And then if we can somehow get it to separate from it, and then that goes away, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine now. That was weird. And the same thing is true for a fragment or part. It can get triggered to blend with you when anything that it viewed as dangerous is going on around. So, what to do about that? Like, what do we do if we're experiencing a sudden shift of mood, a sudden shift of emotions, internal experience, and it is because of a trauma energy that's still trapped in our body, or a fragment that hasn't been fully healed? What do we do about that? So that is where any type of release method is really helpful. EFT tapping is a really great one because it's very effective for many things. So it's likely to be able to be helpful for you in different situations. So if the person's at a picnic and they have some strawberry ice cream and then suddenly are feeling all of these feelings, if they, right then, while everyone else goes out to play touch football or feed the ducks or something, if they stay there and they tap on it, I'm feeling scared and tense. I don't know why. Even though I'm feeling scared and tense, I still love and accept myself 3 times there, and then tap through, releasing this fear and this tension, releasing the feeling of feeling really scared and tense, releasing, and do EFT tapping. It'll help to release that trapped trauma energy. So EFT tapping, scribbling, any other release method that you know of, IFS, guided imagery, anything at all, or even writing, just writing and asking the question, or like labeling or asking, what would it take to be free from, what would it take for this tension and fear to clear? And then just free write. Don't even think about it, just let your pencil or your pen just move without you filtering, trying to make sure there's complete sentences, making sure it makes sense, just free write. That can also be really helpful. Or you can get a session if you're not able to clear it. Okay, especially if it's a fragment or part, then you can do a lot of work on your own, and if you can't get it all the way, then reading the IFS book I recommend in my Intro to IFS YouTube video is a really great place, or you can get a session from a practitioner. Okay, so that was the first suggestion. The second one, another thing that's really common of why people are going about their day and then poof, I feel different now. What's going on? There's not a significant reason or anything that happened of why I would suddenly feel different. Why is this happening? A second really common reason for that is absorbing other people's energy. I had a friend who was just going about their day at work, and then poof, some thoughts were in their head that they really would never think, that they were so foreign to them, but they were in their head in the I format of I feel such and such, and they were so confused, like, where did this is really extreme and I don't feel this way. Why am I hearing this thought and feeling these feelings? And they discovered that they had soaked it up. They had felt someone else's energy who they were nearby, and they had absorbed it, and they were experiencing it as if it was their own. So that can totally happen. And so some things you can do, what do you do about that? If that keeps happening to you, that you're feeling and sometimes soaking up other people's energy, something you can do about that is making sure that your energetic boundaries are healthy and strong. And I'll share a list of questions that are really great to identify that. So if you do muscle testing, if you just journal write, sit intuitively and meditate with yourself, however you connect in with your body and your system, you can ask your body, do I deserve to soak up other people's energy? Am I responsible for other people's negative energy? Am I vulnerable to other people's negative energy? Do I need to control things? Do I need to protect people? Are other people always dumping on me energetically? Is it my job to carry other people's energy? Do I have anything in me, any broadcast message or block, anything in me that makes me absorb other people's energy? Do I need to sacrifice my own balance to help other people, to try to help other people experience more stability? What do I need to release in order to not absorb other people's energy? So you can ask your system questions like that, and anything that you find that would contribute to your system saying like, yes, I'm supposed to do this. This is good. I need to feel and hear everyone's energy. Then you can find it and clear it, and then reestablish an attention and beliefs of, I don't need to feel other people's energy or their thoughts. I don't need to. Unless there's something that I'm supposed to learn or there's something I'm supposed to do to help them. That's the only time I'll feel or hear someone else's energy, is like, oh, okay, then there's something I'm supposed to do. Do I need to say something to them? Do I need to learn something myself? And then you can just ask your body, ask your higher power, what is this about? What do I need to do here? And sometimes it's, you need to say hi, or you need to say something to them, or just something for you to learn. Okay, so those are two really common reasons that I see of why people experience in just a matter of a moment, wow, why am I experiencing something very different all of a sudden? It's very obvious if you've had a life experience. If someone just said something to you very confusing, or that's disrespectful, it's, would be understandable of, oh yeah, I am feeling a little disheartened or confused because of that. I know exactly where this came from, and then you can kind of workshop it internally. And one more thing came through, is our own automatic thoughts, or our own thoughts or negative beliefs. So if you practice, you can get better at hearing your internal dialogue. There's internal dialogue going on all the time, and sometimes we're not aware of it. And so the internal dialogue, if someone had been tape recording it and played it back, we would go, oh, that was me. I was going about my day and then thought a really angry thought of that person reminded me of other people who made me angry. I started thinking about how it was inappropriate, or I felt so disrespected, etc. And then about 2.5 minutes later, I landed over here feeling really discouraged and really frustrated. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense why I went from here to here. But sometimes if we're not conscious of our internal dialogue, if we're kind of blocked or tuned out to that, and we didn't hear the internal dialogue that was going on, then 2 minutes later we might say, oh, my mood has changed, and I don't know why. So practicing kind of just listening into ourselves and noticing our thoughts is the third suggestion. That is a little bit of a process. It's similar to potty training. So a little child potty training who the first thing they become aware of is, oh, I went to the bathroom in my diaper, or pull-ups, or whatever they're potty training with. Oh, it happened. And I didn't even notice the body signals beforehand. I didn't even notice it while it was happening. I was busy playing with the toy. And now I notice after it happened. And then the more that they practice being aware that there will be body symptoms, like they might notice when it's happening. And then soon they'll notice right when it starts to happen. And then after that, they'll become more aware of the sensations of when it's about to happen. And then they'll become more aware of the sensations of, ooh, my body wants to go to the bathroom. I have enough time to walk to the bathroom. And so noticing our negative thoughts can be pretty similar, where we notice after it happened, like my mood has changed and I'm surprised. I'm surprised this happened. And as we practice tuning in and at that moment, wherever we notice ourselves playing detective and saying, okay, what feelings are happening right now? What thoughts are happening right now? What body sensations, what mood? Let me tune in and see it and notice as much as I can notice. And then that might clue us into, oh, I feel discouraged, I feel insecure, I feel angry, I feel scared, I feel vengeful. And then that might clue us into, I may have just had some thoughts about feeling vengeful or about criticism and feeling insecure. And then the more we practice just tuning into our system often, then we can notice as it's happening and then right before it's happening. And then we can notice the trigger live, like someone said something and poof, it started to bring up an emotion, and then a belief associated with that started to come up right after it. And I watched the whole thing happen. I watched the person say something or whatever the outside trigger was, and then I felt an emotion coming up. I saw it come all the way up, and then I saw an associated thought starting to come up with it. I saw it happen, and I choose to reframe it and to address it immediately, and can prevent the whole rest of the experience from happening. And cognitive behavioral therapy is awesome at that. It's really good at, you can even probably Google ANTS, A-N-T-S, automatic negative thoughts. And there's all kinds of probably exercises that you could find to help yourself practice that. Okay, so there are 3 potential reasons why out of the blue, poof, we feel different. And you can explore that with yourself, feel into those, see if those resonate and if they're helpful, and then pursue. Each of those paths have a lot of information that you could go after. There are different releasing methods, specifically EFT. You can get to advanced level there and get lots of awareness and skills with EFT tapping, releasing whatever the trauma energy is that's present, or learning more about IFS or other inner child modalities and protocols, or also with absorbing other people's energy, noticing if you have boundaries or if you don't have boundaries. Typically, if we don't have good boundaries with ourselves, with our time, with our money, with our relationships, it's likely we don't have good energetic boundaries, or like strong, healthy energetic boundaries either. So going down the path of boundaries in general, reading the book Boundaries, studying out and becoming more expert in updating our boundaries will be very helpful, as well as EFT tapping to clear any energy we did absorb from someone. Clear it out and then focus on boundaries so that our system doesn't feel like we need to be feeling and absorbing other people's negative energy. And then the last one, you can look up cognitive behavioral therapy, get sessions in that, or just study out automatic negative thoughts. There are several really cool resources, even apps, like therapy apps that kind of you can utilize as a self-directed therapy with yourself. And I'm sure that there's several options out there about automatic negative thoughts. And if you have other ideas of other things that can cause that experience, feel free to leave them down in the comments. All right, bye.